Today is April 11th, 2023. Well, I started rambling my car and I got rid of them. Real quick, got rid of them. Okay? Real quick. Because what dirty cop, what dirty agent is going to say that they had the church people and the Detroit boys nailed before I called FBI and didn't help me? That they were in my home watching them break in and date, rape, drug me, leave giant bruises, human traffic me to that Steve. I had sex with Dave all the time. So waking up with giant bruises all over me, dizzy and throwing up. I didn't know why I was so sick, and I didn't know he had broken and raped me. Huh? They knew they were assaulting me under drugs, human trafficking me under drugs. They knew that the cult hired them. And they sat back and let it happen to me. And they were watching me in the bathroom. They photoshopped a shower scene. And that means they have kitty porn of my grandkids using the bathroom and my daughter-in-law and my sons. Huh? What dirty cop or dirty agent? Then they would have Terry's phone call where I didn't hang up. And I thought I was getting Dave's girlfriend. And she had me on the counter, on speaker on her phone. I'm watching this lady's kid for $10 an hour. And I have to clean up. She's going to be here any minute. I can hear her clanging and banging. And I hear knocking. She's like, Karen, I'll let you go. I almost hung up. Some lady had impersonated me a few days before that and cost me a job. And I thought, is that Dave's girlfriend? He's cheating, right? I hear her walk over the door. I thought, I'll listen just for a second. I hear her open the door. Guess who I was on the phone with? You're kidding. I almost tricked her into coming down to prayer where those two guys would show up and take care of her. It's not like anybody in the church would ever help her. You know they pay people to know where she's at. I could have used the money. The girl replies, well, that's about as bad as Kaylee. She used another minister because Keith charged too much money. Huh? Well, you know who's in that meeting to hire those two men to kill her? It was Keith Bishop, Strange, and Ron. And they took up $25,000 to have her murdered because Ron wants her dead because she got wealthy year his kid died. They would have that. They arrested him, right? Conspiracy to commit murder and hiring assassins, right? Then they would have been following me around, and they would have had Sarah, her old manager that went to work with Katie at Ashcroft and Hoke, and they would have had her old co-worker and Sarah all coming up to me and saying, Katie said that her church has been going to have you killed, and they have men to take care of you and a permanent plan to take care of you. Huh? They would have that. Conspiracy to commit murder. They arrested her, right? And then they'd have Dave, September 5th of 18, that he gets in mad fit, that him and Jack had this plan since March because I wouldn't give up everything willingly. Then they would have around September 20th of 18 of, I love you, but I love her more. I'm so sorry, Karen, you have to die for her. I hired a man to slit your throat, stab you in the heart. You'll bleed out, Karen, but you have to die for us to get everything. Huh? And if you try to run for it, I got a man to put a bullet in you. For 30 minutes, he held me down, kissing me, squeezing me, rubbing his beard at 3:30 in the morning. They would have that. Tried to claim it was a vivid dream. He was very much awake. He rolled over and got up and went to work. They would have that. Did you know that? They would have that. They would have that. And then September 21st, 18, they've been following me around and where I'm freaking out, realizing the attempted kidnapping, the attempted carjacking, the following and rending, The attempted break-in, knowing where the security system was. That had been all them, and how stupid was I not figuring it out. But they've been date rape drugging me all summer long. Throwing up, getting dizzy, almost passing out in front of the neighbors, nobody knowing what's wrong with me. Huh? So Dave calls me, where are you at? I'm buying something for dinner. I got a phone call to make. Please don't go. And I'm freaking out. I'm out in the middle of nowhere realizing I had 4 attempts and it had been them the whole time. And I look up and they're giving flu shots, and I thought I better get one. It's not even safe for me to be here. Or tell them where I'm going to end up. I get one. I walk along the long pharmacy, sit down on the bench, and I'm like, just breathe. You're safe. Breathe. Breathe. Okay? So then I can't believe she is here. Well, it's the same one as I got her and she got away, the kidnapper. I stand up and I turn my car. He comes up behind me with the Pizza Hut waitress. Huh? I'd stab her right here and now if it wasn't for that security guard. She's like, you're going to stab her and get it over with? I won't make it out for that security guard. And I turned my car right into the bank and got in front of somebody. Pizza Hut lady, I look over and she walks off and comes up to the male banker. I get paid to watch her. He's like, lady, stay out of it. She's like, no, I get paid to watch her. And he's like, lady, I mean, it won't be worth an end. Stay out of this. And she walks off and I look over and the guy that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, threatened to knife me, just walks off too. And Dave instantly calls me and I put him on hold and I'm frozen in fear. Now, that banker's still rambling about this. So that was a kidnapper for the Detroit boys. He arrested him, right? And saved lives, right? What dirty cop or agent said they let the Detroit boys kidnapper get away? That's human trafficking people out of this area. Huh? I freak out and I drive down to Walmart 62, 20 miles away. African American ladies bit my face from her white boyfriends harassing me. I get away from them and there's another man with tall, white, with black hair, black eyes, and I'll tell you what, I think they were contacts because there was no light in his eyes. Huh? Come up and went, what a shame, and kept staring at me like a dead animal, and I got away from him. Dave is in the driveway. When I get home, he takes me to the end of the driveway. My girlfriend's rich and powerful. Our family owns the place. You won't be able to withstand. And I told him it's not a communist country. Nobody owns a place. And I took a day and I prayed. And then I called the FBI hotline. So what officer or agent is going to say they're part of the Detroit boys and an occult that hired them to kill me and to frame me? Huh? And that they knew they could have arrested him. Why didn't they show up and say, honey, they're the cause of your bruises. They've been human trafficking you under drugs, so you wouldn't remember all those bruises. They've been beating you and assaulting you. And that occult hired him. We got your husband nailed. We got that other girl for conspiracy to commit murder. And we got the church's nails for hiring him. And we're getting you out of here. And arrested them, and they're not pulling that here. Huh? So what officer or agent wants to say that had prior knowledge of these crimes and let them get away with it? Choose your words carefully. Because other people were saying it was just that Steve and Eric from that gang. Photoshopping a shower scene, date rape, drugging, and human trafficking. So what officer or what agent had knowledge of all those crimes and they didn't arrest him and nip this that it wasn't going to happen here? And how stupid of a cover that you're an agent in debt to drug dealers to infiltrate their gang. How stupid do you think they were? I was talking to my brother last night. He said, they didn't fall for that at all. They used him to get what they wanted and see what they could get away with. They knew the whole time. As if they'd fall for that. They wanted to see what they could get away with. They got away with drug trading, human trafficking people out of here, rape, torture, selling police information. He sat back and didn't care about victims. See, I called the hotline. We'll have an agent call you back. Next morning, I wake up, phone's ringing. I can't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears running down my face. And I kept saying, I couldn't wake up all the way. Who's that? Let it go to voicemail. Wake up later. Still rivers of tears running down my face. I can't. I listened to the voicemail. This is Agent so-and-so. Call me back. And I rolled over. I can't. Next day, I'm not much better. Third day, I make myself get up out of that bed. And I'm sitting on the front porch. What is wrong with me? They're here. They're watching me. I'm too afraid to leave. And I got to get air in my face. I got to call that guy back. And I get up and I start mowing the lawn, trying to get enough air. Halfway, I think it's Sarah. I already gave her information to the hotline. Call her, course, Karen. I'll witness for you. I'm scared for you. I get cleaned up and I go out and buy her card, put Will's number in it. And I make an excuse to go down the mall, and we drop it off, and her manager puts it in her locker, and we go up to Apostolic Church of Barberton, and Paul Paymer gets in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. What is this with the FBI coming up with threats on her life? How dare you bring this to my church? And I walk off. Dave comes in, let's go, and he threatens my life and swings at me in the truck till I almost jump out. I run from him. When I get home the next day, I call that agent back, and I try to tell him what happened at Huntington Bank. Was there a camera above you where you were sitting? How would I know? I was trying to stay alive. He knew I didn't know the answer. You either say or lie. If you don't know, you better say you're lying or I'll arrest you. Badgering laws, Department of Justice 1729. You have to take a victim or a witness to informant statement and follow through if you believe him or not. As a Detroit's kidnapper, had a picture of him. So you're going to say you were an accessory and knew he was up there in the first place and you could have nipped us? You don't care about victims? Made me plead for my life. Then listed me informant with diplomatic immunity life, $5,000 a month for life for working this case. But if you tell someone else you're crazy, yeah, no one will help you. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct, and they can't even ask you to stay quiet. So freedom of speech. Another agent out of the state tried to tell an informant they couldn't say anything. They got an attorney and sued him last year, and the press ripped him a new one across the nation. That agency better never back one agent telling anybody they can't stay quiet, have to stay quiet. They don't have the authority to. They're just hire law enforcement. They're only hire cops. It takes a sitting judge to take your freedom of speech away. Yeah. And his cover is he's a corrupt agent. In debt to him for gambling debts. To infiltrate the gang. He already had the gang, and he could have said not here. You want to get in a gang? Set yourself up as a pimp and a small drug dealer, and you're around men and they're trained agents. You don't take it off the backs of victims. Do you know they have stories of people, men in war, that colonels and generals didn't care about their men and they only cared about a hill and got a whole platoon killed? You know what happened? They got prosecuted. Because I'll tell you what, my one co-worker at my second job, they already took her family member and laughed in her face. They cut her into pieces and tied her up and cut her in pieces and showed up in stores and mocked her. And when I started talking about the white van, how did you know about the white van? And then she starts talking about my rapist. And that pretends he's an FBI agent. He's a Detroit boy. And then there's more of them. And let them run the biggest scam in the world down here. And when they started finally arresting people, December 16, 22, they got 12 out of the North Canton, Jackson area. Where did they not think it was him? That there was a fox in the hen house ratting them out. And then the marshals and the sheriffs getting 800 nationwide. Do you know how many thousands and thousands are in that gang? And the one associated with it? He didn't put a ding in it. It's keeping it under control that it doesn't happen here, and you find a different way to get him than on the backs of victims. My house manager, Melissa, her niece was taken. The girl at the ATM, a 5'3", 135, blonde girl, and a whole bunch of other people go from Cleveland down. A lot of people are missing. The one guy I went out to eat with said that he had a friend on the police department. They found 35 people tied up in a railroad car and gagged. They already knew about a retired judge in Texas involved. They went down to question him, and he killed himself, and there's another judge involved in this. You find a different way than on the back of victims. Friday, I was outside of John V. Spa in Canton, and there's a guy walked out on the phone. My car's fucked, and they can pick up parking lots away. And he's out there. He said he used that case to infiltrate that gang, and he didn't tell her that's not funny. No, it's not. He let them rape her? Wow. What else? He let what else happen to her, and what else? Did he really even let people be taken? And I walked back in. Saturday, I was with a client's wife in Hartville, Giant Eagle, and about 5 o'clock. People come in, well, better just go ahead and give her money. They already know what he was doing. And then other men, we thought if we didn't tell her, we could infiltrate that gang and get them. And there's gang members outside in their trucks watching us walk in. That one guy I went out to eat with, he works in a factory, and then he races horses professionally. He said, I know somebody who knows somebody who deals drugs. I went to him and said, all the drug dealers know you didn't know that agent was in debt to him. See, that was his cover. And he used your case to pay him back, and he let them hurt you in front of people. And then you said they took up they stole $300,000 from your case, and I said yes. He said they said that's a sweet spot. It's a whole nother drug shipment. And he said they're so mad, and then they start that they have men they want to take care of him for doing this. And I'm like, whoa. And they went into detail. I said, I don't believe in violence, nor would I ever condone it. And he's like, well, it's not me. They said it. Okay? I told the FBI and I told the police to hide him. I'm not him. He needs to go to jail for this 100%. But I don't believe in violence. Okay? It took me a while not to be afraid to even go out to eat with him again, and I thought I want to find out what else he knows. We went back out to eat. There's a bunch of men I hadn't seen sitting around us staring. He's like, I have a friend on the police department too. He said they're actually working that case that agent opened. He said trying to get these people, and that's where they knew about the retired judge in Texas, and they went down to question him, and he killed himself. The other judge in another state, they found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. They didn't know how they found them, how they got him in there. And then he started drilling me, what else happened, what else happened, what else happened, what else happened, till I'm stuttering. He's like, you got so much hurt and pain in your eyes. I cried for 2 days. I talked to another officer. They said he was probably a plant from that police department to let me know what they already know. And then to get more information than from the case. Talk to me nicely. Don't do that. Huh? January 6th, I'm up at a casino in Cleveland. I walk in, their phones go off. Is that the one that church tried to have killed? Yes. It's not funny why these people helped out. It's that Karen's Will run around telling everybody he taped her before and no one will help her. Do we have a man to take care of this? I warned the FBI. And then the other conversations, January 13, 2023 and January 20th, 2023. My phone's tapped. It records if I'm on it or not. See, I'm not him. And what a stupid cover. Like my brother said, they would never fall for that. They used him to get what they wanted. Now his usefulness is over. They better hide him. And they do need to get me my money. They sat back and let them drug the hell out of me. I lost 70 pounds. They let them human traffic me in protected custody. They let them bash my skull in, almost murder me several times, rape and torture and publicly humiliate me, and sat back and let it happen. And then where that Eric and Steve were supposed to only be known, he showed up at mocked everybody for falling for his shower scene and date rape drug confessions. November 1822, all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people to turn on her and they actually fought for it. Ha 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 ha. Well, if it's only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad. They still fell for it. November 24, 22, the nurse at Mercy Medical that was taking care of me to the lady Canton officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this, and she replies back, well, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. And they're talking about the case and that no one's ever really said anything bad about her before, and they need to realize how not funny this is. Okay? And they talked about more in the case. November 6, 22, Trinity Gospel investigators are in there, and they're talking about the case. And they said, well, you know, the agent that called her back is actually the one that told on her at that church before she returned his phone call. Oh, my Lord. Choose your words carefully. That you didn't stop this and you knew all this was happening. Choose your words carefully. See, they could always set themselves up as a pimp, a John, big drug dealer, but their own men, trade agents, not a little old lady in a cult trying to have killed. To infiltrate a gang, you don't do it on the backs of victims and then let more victims get victimized. You protect the victims and you find a different way. Then what makes you any different than the people you're arresting? They need to choose their words carefully. Who wants to say they're a dirty officer, a dirty agent, and already had him nailed before the case started, and would have stopped it, and that none of this happened here. Dear God, that one girl that I work with, when we were talking, and she was talking about her family member being taken and people mocking her in stores, how they killed her. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I try to change the subject, and I'm like, well, you know, the white van, how'd you know about the white van that took my family member? And then I'm trying to keep it together, and I'm like, well, you know, the Florida plates that were here, that they were telling people they were drug traders. I go to local bars, they were in there. I said, you know about Henry Maffei? Yeah, I knew about him. That sounds right. He was with him. He was in the local bars. Show her a picture from Facebook. She said, that's not him. It's another man named that. Okay? And I said, well, they said they were Gentlemen's Club from Florida. No, they said they were the Detroit boys. Huh? They took Marlisa's niece. They tried to grab my district manager, and she got away from him. And other people have been taken. So where does the endless amounts of victims? The Asian lady disappeared last year, her and her children. She was hanging around me trying to get help for her family because her husband got killed up there. Girl at the ATM was one of the kids following me around. Where they're selling the login. Took her, she's gone. 5'3", 135 blonde girl, gone. How many people? How many people have to pay for him just to want to get in a gang and get them? You find a different way than victims. And on the backs of them. Choose your words carefully, because he could have nipped it and stopped it from anything happening here. And if he had prior knowledge that they were date rape, drugging me, human trafficking me, beating me under drugs, stalking me, and that Photoshop shower scene. Told you, the nurse at Mercy Medical, March 13, 21. I go in at Altman Hospital before that. They have fake FBI badges, get in the back. Lie to Dr. Allen and Tina's about the chip, trying to cover up where Alex, retired Judge Pete's son, tried to kill me on 12/21/18. They stabbed me in the neck, bashed me in the back of the head. I still have a net. Woke up 6 hours later with bruises everywhere. They said they even raped me that day and left a white comb on Dave's dresser. Admitted it the first week of January 19 that he was part of that assault. Left me for dead, and then they tried to make up they put a chip in me and had people walk by and have their phones ding, trying to cover it up. Who wants to say they were part of that? Huh? Alex admitted it January, the first week of January, in front of people in Bob Evans. There's a video of it. Them crush 12 on 12/21 where they bash me in the back of the head. Let that happen in protected custody. Huh? I have headaches from it. I had them really bad for a long time. And that Eric calls the nurse, lying to him. Security calls me bad names, and I report them. They'll take care of their staff. Well, I left and went to Mercy Medical. A lady comes in, no man was ever to touch her. I'm in diplomatic immunity. Okay? And the nurse comes in laughing. The only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. The guy standing there said, "That's sick." She said, "No, it's actually really funny." She just simply wiped off some water with clothes on. That's all they had. They didn't have anything else. Her version had no wrongdoing and no wrong saying. Where they photoshopped March 2nd to the 3rd, 21. My car's bugged. Said they were going to put two clips together, put me in a porn. It's not her, it's them. Don't worry about her. And then they start describing stuff that never happened. And I thought, well, if it's clips together, put my head on somebody else's body because I'm not worried about myself. That's sick. And then the way they're describing it, well, if you touch yourself, you expose yourself, you touch yourself and it looks weird, you're either putting yeast infection cream on or washing. Showering, right? Because you undress, you wash, soap. Walk outside to smoke. She figured out what they did. Laughing. May 12th, 22, Bubba's Restaurant. We found a tape of those boys admitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26th, 22, KOC. The shower scene was done on purpose. At the Oakland apartment on Cleveland Avenue, December 9th, 21. Everything was drugged and photoshopped. White man bulb distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force. December 9th, 21 was one of my security guards. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. Can't found them. We always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word. My one client on Shepler Church Road, her neighbor, they told them in March that everything was made up on me and then everything was drugged and photoshopped. They all three talked to the police. January 1922, Department of Disability. They told them I was drugged and told to say it before February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory. A guy personally admitted to drugging me and telling me to say before. They sold the login to the protected case by November of 18. People come running in to save a lot. Oh my goodness, they made a drug on her and tell her to say it before. They were running out of their houses on 6th Street yelling the same thing we all heard. May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. of the church people breaking in before, drugging me and telling me to say weirdo stuff. 8/9/21, apartment building for me, second close fast, read out. Dave talked to police a few days later. 1295 Fairlawn, the middle apartment, a little white lady screamed at him for doing, talked to several people in 21. Everybody, and they admitted framing me March 24th, 22, 1/130. You framed her before you. Shame on you. I know, I wish we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. See, they said they had fake paperwork to make it look official up there, the fake court order to watch me before, the fake charges where I was never questioned and never accused because it's the gang doing it. So who wants to say they were part of that? And had all the prior knowledge of the photoshopping and date rape drugging, and they didn't arrest them. And they could have nipped all this before anybody else got hurt. Huh. And they could have solved that other girl's murder. Choose your words carefully. Choose them very carefully, and somebody needs to hide well.